Hello, everyone. My name is Daniel. You know, people always say I look like Donald. He's been my best friend since we were kids, so it never bothered me. It's funny, though, how something as simple as sharing a face with someone can turn your life upside down in ways you never expect. It started on a Friday afternoon. I was walking down Maple Street, minding my own business, headed to grab some coffee. It was one of those days where nothing's really happening, but you feel good, you know? The sun was out, birds chirping, the usual. But then, out of nowhere, these two cops roll up behind me, lights flashing, sirens wailing. I thought they were after someone else, so I stepped to the side. But nope, they stopped right in front of me. Daniel Matthews, one of the officers said as they got out of the car. Uh, yeah, I replied, totally confused. We need you to come with us. You're under arrest. Now, I'm not the type to lose my cool easily, but this had me shook. I mean, I knew I hadn't done anything wrong. Hell, I'd spent most of the week at work or watching Netflix at home. What could they possibly want with me? Arrest? For what? I asked. They didn't give me much of an answer. One of them just cuffed me while the other read me my rights. The people on the street were staring, and I could already feel my face burning. I wanted to shout, "You've got the wrong guy." But something told me to stay quiet and not make things worse. At the station, they sat me down in this cramped room with a single table and a flickering light overhead. Real TV crime drama stuff. An hour passed, and then two. Finally, a detective came in, sat across from me, and slid a folder across the table. "You know why you're here?" he asked. "No clue," I replied, feeling the frustration rising in my chest. "Armed robbery. 2 nights ago, at the gas station on 8th. We got a witness who swears you were there." My heart stopped. Armed robbery? Me? I've never even held a gun in my life, let alone robbed a place. Then it hit me like a punch in the gut. "Wait," I said, leaning forward. "You think I'm Donald, don't you?" The detective frowned. "Donald Fisher?" "Yeah, my best friend. We look alike. People confuse us all the time, but I swear it wasn't me. I was at home that night. Check my phone, check my bank records, whatever you need to do, but I wasn't at that gas station." The detective's face softened a little, but he didn't seem fully convinced. "We'll look into it." Hours passed. They left me alone in that cold, stale-smelling room, going over my thoughts 1,000 times. Why hadn't I just called Donald as soon as I was picked up? He'd probably laugh his ass off hearing what had happened, but I wasn't laughing. Finally, they brought me back out and told me I could go. Turned out Donald had been arrested earlier that day, and they realized I had nothing to do with the robbery. The witness? Well, she got us mixed up, just like everyone else. It's funny in hindsight, the trouble with looking like your best friend. But that day, man, I was terrified. It made me think about how fragile life is, how in a split second, everything can change just because someone thinks you look like somebody else. I still hang out with Donald, but whenever we go out now, I make sure to stay clear of any trouble. And we've got a new joke between us. Whenever something goes wrong, Donald looks at me and says, "At least they didn't arrest you this time, huh?"